No tread left on your tire? Time for a new one. Start changing your tire by getting the rear wheel off the ground. Loosen the axle adjusters. Hold the axle in place with a wrench. Then, loosen the axle nut and remove it. Now, pull the axle from the swing arm. Remove the caliper from the rotor and bracket and gently set it aside. The caliper bracket comes off next. And carefully remove the belt from the pulley. Part 2. Changing the tire. I took the wheel to Huntington Beach Hogs and Choppers to swap out the tire for me. Using their tire machine, one side of the tire was removed from the rim. The inner tube was carefully moved out of the way. And the second side came off. The old tire was tossed. Followed by the tube. The rim strip was snapped in place. The valve from the valve stem was removed. The valve stem nut holds the tube in place. With the rim edges in mind, the tube was folded out of the way. Then, the sides of the tire were lubed. And the first side was installed. Carefully, the inner tube is tucked into the tire. Inflating and deflating the tube helps to verify it's not kinked. The last side of the tires fit to the rim. And the bead is seated. Next, the wheel is checked for balance.
Almost 2 ounces.
Weights were added.
Throw two on it real quick.
And then rechecked to verify balance.
So you zeroed out, so that's good.
Part 3. Installing the wheel. Slide the belt into place. With the spacers aligned, push the axle in place. Then install the caliper bracket and final spacer. Followed by the adjuster plate, lock washer, and axle nut. Set the caliper in place. Add the caliper spacers. And don't forget the thread locker. And the caliper was tightened down. Next, eyeball the axle adjustment. Make sure the axle is parallel to the swing arm pivot. The length between the axle and the pivot need to match on each side of the bike. Tighten the axle nut. Cinch down the adjusters. Lastly, extend the kickstand and lower the bike.